Will Lisa Vanderpump come back for just $2 million? And is Bravo looking to get rid of Watch What Happens Live because of failing ratings? Welcome back to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel, where you get daily and consistent hot topics in music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. So as you know, we've been talking about the failing ratings of Watch What Happens Live for a while now. So if you watch our lives, we talk about that. And the ratings have been inconsistent for a while. The most recent ratings, if you take a look at them, and shout out to our friends over at Bravo Ratings, you'll see they fluctuate. On a Beverly Hills night, they do a little bit better. Some of you have been commenting, and I've noticed as well, if you watch certain Housewives show, right after you watch it, there is no, next episode of Watch What Happens Live. It automatically goes into Watch What Happens Live. Very slick and very tricky ways of getting ratings. But some of the prize shows over at Bravo include Below Deck Med. Their ratings are doing very well this season. And you'll notice if they have certain people from these hit shows on Watch What Happens Live, the ratings shoot up. However, I tweeted not too long ago, one of Bravo Ratings tweets about Watch What Happens Live. The ratings were probably a little bit over 300,000 viewers. I said, any other show probably would be canceled with these types of ratings. Look at the Real Housewives of Dallas. Their ratings, I think, if I go back, did a little bit better than Watch What Happens Live. So it's interesting to me. Well, not interesting. I think it's very clear what's happening there. Kathy Griffin, although people do not love Kathy Griffin, she said during her beef with Andy Cohen, he's the only executive in history to give himself his own late night talk show. You may recall Andy Cohen has not been an executive over at Bravo for probably over 10 years longer, but he was an executive, and he technically probably allegedly gave himself his own late night talk show, and he's not bad at it. I'm going to give Andy credit. He's not bad at hosting. He's not bad at his, hosting his own show. But with that being said, it's not one of the shows that my go-to over at Bravo. And of course, it made sense at the time to give Andy what he wanted, because the Real Housewives really built Bravo. If you watch Bravo over the years, Bravo wasn't just the Housewives show. I don't even believe it was even reality TV. It was a lot of other different content. With that being said, now we're hearing that, there were demotion rumors. There were all kinds of rumors. And I've told you the demotion is not going to look what you think it would look like. I've said consistently that a demotion for Andy Cohen would be a less power in his influence over there. A lot of you love to call Andy Cohen, even though it's very sacrilegious, Father Andy, because of his influence at Bravo. And look, we have to give Andy credit. He did create the Real Housewives franchise, and it's done extremely well for him and for many other housewives and for other content creators that talk about that. But as you all know here on the channel, we don't just talk about the Housewives, because we know don't put all your eggs in one basket. Everything in pop culture is what we talk about here. And reality TV is an important part of pop culture. It has really influenced. Look, Kim Kardashian just hosted Saturday Night Live. You never see stuff like that, especially when it comes to reality stars. But of course, I'm digressing. Back to Andy Cohen. So in regards to a demotion, as I said before, a demotion for Andy Cohen is not going to look like what it would look like for you or myself at a regular job. You're not going to see, he's no longer executive producer. What you're going to see, based on rumors, is that he's not going to have the same influence when it comes to his own show, when it comes to his influence at Bravo, when it comes to his influence at E! Network or NBC Universal. We've heard rumors that NBC Universal is taking more control over casting. As you saw with the RHOBH ratings, they were tremendously low this past season, the lowest in their history. And we hear that the next season, they're getting more involved in regards to figuring out what that cast will look like. Also, in regards to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion, Andy allegedly was told that he has to go there because a lot of you did not expect him to go there. And he has to go there from the beginning. This is again NBC Universal reportedly getting more involved in what's going on at Bravo. But since we're talking about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, let's talk about Lisa Vanderpump. As you know, Lisa Vanderpump exited from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills several seasons ago at this point. But of course, she had her Vanderpump Rules show that was a major hit for her. However, I've been talking about it when I dropped by Up and Adam, and I was talking about the ratings of Vanderpump Rules. It's never been my show. I've never gotten into it. I know the rumors. I know the drama. I know all of that about Vanderpump Rules. It was never my show. And apparently it's not y'all's show anymore either, because the ratings have been horrendous. The ratings for Vanderpump Rules have been suffering. They've been suffering. And I know Lisa Vanderpump recently came out and spoke about the people that were fired for saying some derogatory things, saying that she wishes that it could have played out on the show so they can actually learn from some of the terrible things that they said. But I also think that was a desperate attempt at Lisa Vanderpump trying to save her show. Well, now we're hearing reports that Lisa Vanderpump is willing to return to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills for, $2 million, nothing less than $2 million, honestly. And this is what we're hearing according to insiders. Shout out to our friends over at Reality Blurb. This is what they're saying. Because of the plummeting ratings in Vanderpump Rules, Lisa is willing to return to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills if the quote price is right. Okay, as you already know, Lisa doesn't just have Vanderpump Rules. She also has the show on E! Overserved and Peacock's Vanderpump Dogs. Neither one I haven't really delved into. But those spinoffs also have suffered in the ratings. So this is what an insider is saying. They're saying that Lisa Vanderpump wants to come back to Housewives between the terrible ratings with Overserved and Vanderpump Dogs and Vanderpump Rules crashing in ratings. She hasn't been able to find success outside of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and wants to make a return. I have to beg to differ. She has found success, but that success is now waning. Okay? So according to this insider, they're saying, so she will only do it, speaking of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, if the price is right. And there is a mutual interest the show is eyeing to get her back too. She has stayed in executives' good graces all these years. It would make sense for her career and for their show. Some might say, though, because the ratings at the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills have been doing so well, they don't need Lisa. But we have to remember this, the interest in Erica Jane Girardi's storyline is going to wane, and they're going to have to think about the future of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And the future of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is not Kyle Richards, it's not Dorit Kemsley, it's not Lisa Rinna. The future is someone like Garcelle Bouvet. Garcelle's episode on Watch What Happens Live actually was very, very, very good. And it was a very good time for the Watch What Happens Live ratings because they experienced over 800 and something thousand viewers. That was a record high. Of course, it's on the same night of the record high, season high for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion. So it makes sense. But Lisa's return would be interesting. I've said I'm open to Lisa Vanderpump returning. I just said that in a previous video. However, what will be her storyline? Of course, it's probably going to be a battle between her and Kyle Richards. It might be the time for us to shake Kyle Richards up. Kyle Richards seems to be a producer's pet. She comes in, she likes to shake things up, start trouble, throw her friends under the bus. Well, this would be perfect because I think Kyle would be intimidated. And of course, if Lisa was to return, she wants to make, reportedly, more than Kyle. And from what we're hearing, Kyle is making between $600,000 and $1 million for a season. I'm actually surprised that she's not making over $1 million, especially when we see Housewives like in Atlanta. And we know they've brought the ratings, so they deserve it. Where we hear that Nene was making over $2 million, Candy was making over $2 million. So I'm actually very surprised that Kyle Richards, although she doesn't deserve it because she doesn't have a storyline. But if Lisa Vanderpump was to return, do you think that she deserves $2 million and up? Honestly, no. I don't think so. I think Lisa should come in at $1 million because she would still make more than Kyle. But $2 million when you have 3 failing shows, that's definitely not going to happen, especially when Bravo is trying to reportedly save money, cut back, especially because these shows are not bringing in the ratings. But if they do bring Lisa Vanderpump back, they need to bring back Camille Grammer, because I think Camille, as a friend of, she doesn't need to be a housewife, will add a different spice to the whole situation that's necessary right now. But you guys always have amazing opinions on this topic. So as always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Do you want to see Lisa Vanderpump come back? And what are those conditions? Do you think that she deserves $2 million? Or do you think it should just be over $1 million? And what do you think about the news story that's on the streets that Andy Cohen, Watch What Happens Live, might get canceled because of failing ratings? As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.